I've been hesitant as hell on making this video. But I gotta do it in order to be consistent. Because I was always dreading the day that I would review a Loud House episode that I didn't like. Alright, well, let's just say whatever comes to mind. What's up, people of the world? It's me again, Alex Wimmer, aka AP3Jumped, welcome to another new Loud House episode review. Today I'm reviewing the episode Friendzy, which, this had, what do I even say first? I guess well, to be short, I don't like this episode, like I said in the title, in the intro to this video. But before I get into that, let me at least talk about the good first. That way I don't have to... Let's talk about the good first. To which there was actually a lot of interesting things that happened in this episode. The whole premise is just the whole premise of this episode. Like, it starts off at like the climax and then takes you back to the beginning, which is exactly what Unfabulous did. Yeah, I know there's other pieces of media that have done that, but this episode immediately reminded me of Unfabulous in particular, because I loved that show. And it was neat getting a little nostalgic throwback for me personally, and that was honestly one of the only shows that I've ever seen to have that sort of flashback format where you start the climax, then tell the story as to how you got, tell the viewer the story as to how the characters got to that situation in the first place, and then there you are. Yeah, I just thought that'd be an interesting little tangent to say. So that was one of my favorite things about the episode, actually. Another very cool thing was that this episode featured damn near every background character in existence. like so many other characters have, so many characters make their return again, but because like there's like layers of how many times these background characters have appeared. Like Haiku, for instance, she's appeared multiple times. Sam, this is her third episode. But she doesn't talk. She doesn't talk in this episode for some reason. And Darcy made her first comeback in this episode. So yeah, like I said, damn near every single background character in the show and made a cameo in this episode. Not to mention some of the crew members too. Like, yeah, I'm stammering. Because that's probably the best thing about this whole episode, is that it's just rich with freaking cameos. There's cameos out the freaking wazoo in this, which I love that very much, and I hope we will get to see something like that again. Another thing I liked was that Lincoln made a first for, well, when talking to the audience, he did something that he's never done before. Actually, he talked while he was basically frozen in time, and he was able to move around in the space, and he was actually able to poke some of his sisters who were still frozen in place during that climax of the episode. And so yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool touch. That was a very neat little attention detail. And like I said about the cameos, I hope they do this sort of thing again. I hope to see this sort of thing more often in the future. And Lincoln talking to the audience and while everyone else is free. Imagine imagine how creative the crew can get with that. Like I said, I really want to see more of that in the future. Another good thing is that there is a reference to an episode from Ed, and Eddy. I can't remember. Let's see, what was the episode title? X marks the Ed. Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've seen Ed and Eddy. I freaking loved that show. It's such a timeless show, and the fact that this show referenced that is it's pretty cool. Like this show has references out the ass, but to have one for Ed and Eddy is pretty special, honestly. So yeah, like I said with the cameos, this episode happens to it seems to have the most amount of characters, main, supporting, or background character otherwise, all just mashed up into one episode. Like there's close to 100 freaking characters featured in this damn episode, which is staggering to say the least. And yeah, that makes some Lincoln's Bunny family with 25 sisters, or excuse me, Warren's Bunny family with 25 sisters look like that just dwarfs that amount like exponentially, because there were 85 freaking people that had to be kicked out of that house, and now this is where I have to transition into the bad. Now, while there were a lot of cool and interesting things that happened in this episode, I don't think that makes up for the overall just tone of the episode, because the tone and what's happening makes it feel like a season 1 episode. And one of the problems with season 1, it had a lot of episodes that were mean spirited, and season 2, we all know what the what season 2 episode I'm talking about that we thought was going to be a St. Patrick's Day episode, but wound up being something else entirely. Yeah, I do not like those episodes one freaking bit, because at the end of the day, I just want nothing but the best for these characters, and to see them do these things, literally wanting to just sabotage one another, and learning nothing from it afterwards, and not really having any kind of resolution, not just for the episode, but resolution for within themselves, doesn't make for a very satisfying viewing experience, which I just don't like episodes like that. And a lot of other people don't either. Like this particular episode, on the other hand, Friendzy, it got mixed reviews from what I understand. Some people like it, and some people find it to be a better version of Brawl in the Family, and others like me just flat out don't like it because of its mean-spirited nature and within the same types of tonal values as Brawl in the Family and The Sweet Spot and the other one, which we will not discuss. Yeah, that's the unholy trinity of episodes for me: The Sweet Spot, Brawl in the Family, and again the episode we thought was going to be a St. Patrick's Day episode, given what the title card implied. But yeah, this episode just really felt like a step back, and it can make you question how much they're willing to put each other through hell in order to get what they want. Because we thought we learned from that. We thought they would have learned from that for like after season 2. And episodes like White Hair showcase that, how much support they have for one another, and towards Lincoln, and towards each other. But this episode, like I said, it's just one of those episodes that rubs me the wrong way, and is just not very fun for me personally to watch. It's just, what else do I even say? It's like, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I guess to end this off is that You know, as a fan, I know as a fan deep down that they love each other. They're a family, and they'll uh, one minute they love each other, the next minute they're trying to kill each other. And when they do love each other, it's they support each other no matter what. They have the strongest bond that any family should have for one another. But when they get into that hateful mode and literally want to kill each other over something, that right there isn't very. I'm sorry, but that's just not very enjoyable for me. And even when Lisa brought out the freaking chart from Brawl and Family, I was like, oh god, not this again. So yeah. And on a side note, the cloud fights in the show, depending on the situation, they can either be really funny, like that's a staple in cartoons in general, but not just this show. But other times, like in this episode, I honestly feel I feel heart sunken whenever the siblings get into a cloud fight, given a particular situation like this one, and I'm just saddened and disappointed. That's just how I feel whenever the Loud Family gets in cloud fights sometimes. Or just really hateful fights like this in general. Because, as you all know, in the sweet spot, it looked as if they were fighting over the last Wii Fit Trainer amiibo in fucking existence. Yeah. That's why I will never watch that episode again. And all the other bad episodes. Yeah. So all in all, there were good things and bad things, but the bad things outweighed the good things. Even if it's just a little bit, they still outweighed them. Which, all in all, just doesn't make this episode very enjoyable for me. Parts of it are, but the whole overarching feel of it just, I don't like. That's just how I feel. Alright, well, that's it for this episode review. If you liked this episode, or if you didn't like it, then let me know what you thought exactly of the episode in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And stay tuned for more Loudhouse episodes. And there is something I want to announce right now. I'm actually, it's really exciting. I'm actually going to be a part of a little group project where I, along with a bunch of other Loudhouse fans, are going to do reviews for every single episode in the series, and I'm getting to be a part of that, and that's going to be really freaking cool. And that's really awesome that I'm finally part of a group project like this, and I can't wait to see the final result of how all those reviews get compiled into one. So that makes me excited. I'm glad to end off this episode on a high note. But yeah. I'm Alex Wimmer, aka AP3 Jones. Thank you so much for watching until the end. That's it for me, and I will see you soon. And stay tuned for more episode reviews, and be on the lookout for me and being a part of that mega review of the episodes from the entire series. I don't know what else to call it, but be on the lookout for me in that. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I'm actually going to record my first review right now. So yeah, I'm Alex Wimmer, aka AP3 Jones. Thank you so much for watching until the end. That's it for me, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, like I repeat my outro sometimes, and sometimes I say, like, the word is not a very excusable word to say. They kind of teach you that in public speaking class, which I actually took one, by the way, freshman year of college, but first semester, I should say. Oh well, I've gone off on a tangent long enough, but I will see you next time. Goodbye.